Welcome to yet another episode of TBN Meets. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, TBN meets with Mtshali, a mover and a shaker in the different places where God has called her, and also the founder of Penny's Book Club. We will hear more about what that entails from her. And she's right here. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mio, for having me today. Yeah, so quite an introduction. Yes.
What did I miss?
You missed a lot, but anyways, I'm gonna
bring
fire.
It on.
Yes,
bring it
I'm
on.
gonna bring it on. So thank you for having me today. So yes, I'm the founder of Penny's Book Club. I'm the founder of Readers Please magazine. I'll tell you all about it, what it's about. Also, I have a podcast where it's called Bookmark Conversations, where I interview authors. Also, I'm going to talk to you about that as well.
Okay, where do you want us to start?
Yeah, so I'm going to start on the book club. Why I start at the book club? Yes, yes. Okay, so the book club, basically, it is it's a community of readers. So we read multiple books. So we don't choose which book we read. So we understand that we all like different kinds of books. So having a group like that, it allows us to tap into different, books. So we don't now focus on only one genre. We focus on different genres that everybody will enjoy, basically.
Okay.
So I'm coming from a large family from KZN. That's where I grew up. And Mlazi. And I was raised by C-section, Mlazi. Wasi. So I think that's my love of interaction with people, because that's what I'm doing with the book club. It's interacting with so many different people, authors, readers, publishers, that whole space of writing. The reason where that's coming from also is the fact that I grew up in a very huge household, raised by my grandfather and my grandmother, and my grandfather was a pastor, and we got to see so many people in the house, So I think my upbringing also is impacting a lot on what I do today, and where I am today, and where I'm going.
And yet you say, I missed a lot. That's what I said exactly. That you are a mover and shaker in the kingdom of God.
I'm a mover and shaker in the kingdom of God, because I believe that from where I grew up, your past also doesn't define where you are going, So I knew that from where I'm coming from, I wanted something more for myself, and that foundation was laid very early in my life. My grandfather was from Zim. He actually came to South Africa when he was young, from Zimbabwe, and we had a very solid foundation at my house. Church was actually at my house, those back then. So we did not have like a huge church, so we knew that people were coming over to the house. Hence, then I was saying that then my interaction with people, it actually was happening at that early stage in my life.
All right.
So, yeah.
You are not saying much about your mom and dad.
So, my mom, if I'm saying my grandfather and my grandmother, I grew up at that house, but my mom was there. My mom plays a very huge role in my life. She's still alive, but my dad passed on, and I was not that close on that side, basically, because they didn't get married. So yeah, so everything is mostly, I was Sithole before I got married. It's my maiden surname, Sithole, from my mother's side. So yeah, but my mom is she's a very powerful lady, I will say, because she raised us by herself, like the education that I have today, she didn't have it. She was like, I want something better for my child, and I thank you for that.
I was just about to ask you, what are three things that you would want to say thank you to her for? Yeah. If she's watching.
If my mom is watching, I just want to say thank you for sacrifices that she made.
Speak to her, don't speak to me.
Mom, thank you so much for sacrifices that you made to make sure that I get a better education. Thank you so much for, this is the big one, for staying at home and getting married after I got married, because she didn't want to leave us behind.
Oh, wow.
So she only got married after me because of that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also for the role that she's playing in my life today.
Wow.
So those are the three big things that I can say to you, Mom, you know, because I think, gosh, I don't know where I'll be without her.
What role are you saying she's still playing?
She's playing a huge role. We talk.
She's your confidant.
Yeah. So living here in Joburg and growing up in Durban, so you know, like that family side is always a part of you, it doesn't leave you. So anything that happens, I know my mom is gonna phone me and update me, such and such a thing has happened, you know, those kind of things. So she's the link between me and the family. And also she's my confidant in terms of I'm married, and if I want to talk to her about such issues, you know, Mom, there's such and such a thing that's happening, I know I can always go to my mom. She's like my best friend, you know. If somewhere in life something is happening to me, she's the first person who will be like, you know what, my child, I am praying for you, you know, so that you can just cross this, whatever it is that you are stuck on. Even though I can't help you, if it's something that she cannot help me with, she always say that one thing that, you know what, I will tell God. I will tell God to assist, because me at this point, I can't, you know, it's only him who can help. So just for praying for me, I just want to say thank you. She always says that, you know what, I don't sleep without saying a prayer to say that, please, God, you know, watch over my children in Joburg. So yeah, so I thank you so much for that. I think for the woman that I am today, I can say, you know, it's because of her, you know, the way that I carry myself. The way that I interact with people, you know, and the way what people say about me, because to me, sometimes that is important to get, you know, like, it's nice to get that. It's nice to hear that.
Feedback.
Yes, it's nice to hear feedback from people. So for that, when people are saying, oh, is it you, Penny? You know, I didn't even know, I saw this lady moving around. I didn't know it was you hosting this. And I'm like, yes, it's me. So I think I'm a very down-to-earth person, very, very down-to-earth person. And my mom always says that. Sometimes it used to, you know, like I used to be upset about that when I was growing up. When I'm complaining, because remember I was saying I grew up in a huge household, so they're my uncles, they're my aunts, and it's all nephews. All of us are here, my cousins, all of us were it. And I remember at some point my grandmother used to even, I'll tell my kids that she used to start counting plates because of how many we were. Yeah. So because of that, when I started working and I'll start having my own things, when I start complaining to her, my mom, you know, I've lost this thing. I know somebody took it from the house. She'll be like, I think you have a big mouth, Penny. Yeah. You have a big mouth. And then I won't, you know what? So she is like that. Wow. So I think I got that from her, you know, and I appreciate that. Because I think it's taking me places. And I'm able to interact with so many different people, whether it's in my line of work, what I do, you know, my professional work. Even on that as well, I'm expected to communicate with people at different levels. Up to executive level.
Did you not mention your professional work?
Professional work, I have professional work where I have in the book space. I'm in so many spaces. So professional, I'm a group payroll manager. That's what I am. So with that, a group payroll manager.
What is that?
So it means that you are managing payroll for the group, for the whole for different company.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I pay people.
I didn't hear that part. Payroll.
So I pay people.
How can I not know
How
what
can
that
you
is?
get paid? Yeah. That job, I mean, or that career also, it shaped me to what I am today. I deal with so many people, you know, like from lower level up to senior level. And I think if I wasn't doing a good job, I wouldn't be called that position at this time in my life. So
of the entire group.
Yes, for the entire group. So if you have any issue, you know, whatever, it's Penny. And I think my team also, my staff also can attest to that. Yeah.
All right, the book club.
Yes.
You mentioned that you do not choose what book to read.
Yes.
Who chooses it?
Okay, so the book club is different ladies, obviously. Like I was saying, that loves different kind of books. So then at the beginning of the year, we will take it out there to say, okay, guys, it's 12 months in a year. So these are the books. we give them the genres and the themes, obviously. Like, for instance, if it's February or, you know, like let's use Jan. Jan is the beginning of the year, and we are all wanting to be inspired, you know, like we want anything to motivate us to go to the year, you know. So then someone in the book club will then be raising a hand to say, okay, I want to choose a book. And then we have a whole criteria where we are selecting the book. It's a voting. There's a whole voting. The ladies will vote for the best book out of the 3 that will be pitched. So that one is the one that is actually going to be read for that month.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
And then every month, so each and every month we have a book. And then, we have like people who read like maybe, I don't know, like 100 books in a year in the book club.
Now, what is the plan in terms of this book club? There is quite a number of issues that you could be covering that we are not aware of.
Yes.
For instance, it could be for literacy, of course, so that people can begin to read. And there is a saying, it's been long since I've said this, that goes, if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
That just magnifies the fact that we do not read as the African nation. What made you to want to start a book club?
Okay, it's a love for reading. I think that's where it began. So I love reading. So I was reading so many books. Where it actually started was when I will want to discuss the book with somebody and no one in the house is interested. So I'll be like, when I get to that nice part, I'll be like, oh my God, you won't believe this. And then I want to tell my husband, to my people, oh, okay, Penny, we see, you know, like, oh, Mom, you can see, oh, okay. And then I was like, no, I need to start finding people, you know, that like-minded people, you know. And then I started like, on my backpack, I went in and printed like the flyers. I put them on my backpack each time I go to gym. I said, okay, let me go to places where I'm normally, you know, I frequent, you know. Started at the gym, and then I'll be like, after the class, I'll jump on stage and I'll be like, hello, I'm Penny, you know, like, so I started getting people, and then the weather, it spread like that. And also, like we touch on literacy, you know, like that's what we are about. Because now it's an NGO. We started as a fun thing, as a book club, like you call it a book club, but then it extended when we saw that there was a need for, you know, like for reading, you know, we saw the gap that, you know what, it's important, kids are not reading these days. They are glued to their phones. You know, the book, if you give a child the book, it's like, but I have my school books. Why are you giving me an extra book?
Exactly.
You're giving me more work.
They're like,
yes, what are you doing?
You're trying to catch me out here.
Exactly. So I identified that, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to register this now as an NGO because it's starting to grow, you know. Then I started to have events now with authors now, inviting authors to come in with their books now to say, all these ones, even the upcoming authors, I'll be like, okay, so you have a book, reach out to them, and then come, I have this event that's happening on a specific day, come with your books. And then I will have something like that where they showcase their book, where they talk to the readers, you know, about their books, you know, why they started writing, and people start asking questions. And I will do them at home sometimes, you know, like I'll be like, okay, for resources, let me just house them at my house. And then last year, then I did work with one of the government departments when we had one, it was a huge one, that one. So it was also like in that space, but we took it a little bit further, not to talk about the books per se. We're talking about it was called Revive and Thrive. And we were talking about, you know, like looking at your life, like stopping and saying, am I on the right track? And I positioned it in such a way that it was in the middle of the year. It was in June. I was like, okay, it's that time of the year when we all made goals at the beginning of the year. And we are now in June. We are like, oh, it's almost December. I have not done this. So I was like, pause. And then I called the panel that was going to be talking about different things that, okay, what is stopping you from moving, from reaching your goals? So all those people were people that were experts in those different areas. So they were talking about that. So I started, so I'm saying I started expanding it, and it being an NGO, then it's like it helped a lot because now I can reach out, you know. All my things are linked together. So Reader's Bliss, it's a Reader's Lifestyle magazine. That's what it is. It's called Reader's Bliss magazine. So on that magazine,
where can people
also
find that magazine?
They can find the magazine. We have a website. It's called Reader's Bliss magazine.com. So on that website, people can download it or can purchase the hard copy.
Okay, the book club itself, because this is how everything, or this is from where everything mushroomed. what are some of the benefits of being in the club? For someone watching and feels, yo, I've got quite a number of questions, challenges, and stuff that is not answered in terms of writing.
Yes.
What are some of the advantages and
Of
benefits
being, yeah.
of being in the club?
Yes,
And do you pay? Do you pay
Yes.
affiliation and
Yes,
stuff
it's
like that? Talk
Okay,
about
so
that.
let me start on the book club part. The benefits is it's conversation. The reason why I see the book club as successful, is the conversations that it brings, right? So I think all of us, people are carrying on with their lives, and some people don't have people to speak to, you know. And the book club is that platform as well, where, like I was saying, we have monthly meetings and people get to talk about. We talk about the book, and then you get a chance to speak
Yes.
and make friends. So some people now, it's a friendship that you get out of there, instead of like we're focusing on our jobs a lot. So it's more like it's like relieving your stress when you see other ladies and you talk to them about the book. So the book club also is a platform, a brand, Penny's Book Club also. It's that platform, like I was saying, that for authors, when they come in, I assist them to actually sell the book to the readers.
Yes.
So my the members of the book club, then they get a chance to hear. So I do the invitation. I will invite you. I'll say, Mr. Mbigo, I saw this book that you've released. Can you please just visit our book club? You know, we just want to, you know, like, and then the ladies get very excited. I'm saying ladies, guys, because it's only women.
It's mainly
men try to join, and as soon as they see it's a lot of women,
and then they feel left out.
Then they go.
Yeah, but I think that's an opportunity for you.
Then they go. But with the authors, they are quite struggling. You mentioned it earlier. They really are. Majority of them are. They are working. Majority of them are. Even on the magazine, I did have a section from one of the authors that her book is also an exclusive books, you know, and one will think, okay, she's made it, you know, her books are here, but meanwhile she is a mom, she is like a wife, and also she does 9 to 5. You know, because that income cannot sustain, you know, or it cannot. So I have a section there where she's talking about that, where she finds time and why she's doing everything, you know, that she's doing, you know, and her book are still successful. People are buying her books, but still she's doing everything that she's doing. So I think the platform for the book club brand itself and the podcast is to actually give the authors a chance to talk about themselves, and me asking questions also for my viewers, for them to hear why, you know, you started writing, you know, like where you going, is there anything that's happening at the moment? Like I interviewed like one of the ladies, Angela Makolwa. She is one of her books was I think a book or books, I'm not too sure, but one of those books was a very big hit on Netflix. So it was adapted, the book adapted into a movie. Yes, so when I was talking to her, I was excited because, you know, you get so many things. It was such a nice movie, you know, so when is the other one coming, you know? So you get all these things, and people get excited when you interview somebody like that. So
when did you start the podcast? You never said anything to me about the podcast.
Podcast started last year.
All right.
Last year. I started podcast last year, and you know, I told you. So thank you so much. Let me just say this. I want the viewers to hear. Because when you invited me to come see you last year, I came in, and I've never had someone, you know when it's easy to tell somebody about your things, you know, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you, on the other hand, you were sitting behind your screen and you were scrolling, and you were like, but what about this, but what about that, but what about this? When I left here, I knew what I had to do.
Wow.
I was like, God brought me here for a reason. Because when you said to me, come here, I was like, no, I'm not going there. It's TBN. It's like, TBN is like, they're going to ask me, Christine, it's a channel for Christine. No, you know, all these things. I'm like, I don't want to. And then you said, you insisted on me coming here, and it wasn't. And when I realized after I left there that, hang on, it was not, you know, about the channel per se. This was about me. You know, and everything that you said to me, when I went back home, I scrapped everything.
Wow.
I scrapped everything.
You know, in answering what you are saying, first of all, I don't think it's me. I think it's God, it's the Holy Spirit. And second of all, this might sound very controversial. When people ask, specifically if someone will ask me about what is TBN Africa, I would say it's a channel about changing people's lives. I don't say it is a Christian channel.
It's a Christian channel.
Because for me, Christians go through everything else that people go through as well.
Yes.
But the power and the advantage is that if we look at everything that we do from the perspective of Christ, then our life can never be the same.
Exactly.
So basically, that's what we are about. And I get sometimes a little, I don't want to say upset when people say, no, TBN is just a Christian channel. We are not just a Christian channel. There's quite a number of things that we look into to ensure that people's lives are better.
Exactly.
You are one of those testimonies.
Can I give you one testimony? But you know why? It's because I think just to maybe to I'm not anyone, so it's, you use controversial, so I'm going to use the very same name again. Wait again. So if somebody is there is that thing in our minds as viewers when you are encountering a specific, there's a situation in your life that you want God to intervene, you know? And then you are like, maybe we get in that mode, maybe you're singing. Let me just make an example, me. I'm like at home and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like I need to pray and those kind of things. Then I take the remote. The first thing that I'll open TBN.
Wow.
And then you know what's going to happen? That's why people are saying it's a Christian channel, because sometimes when you open it, that person that is preaching at the time, you know, guess what?
Speaking exactly to your situation.
The person, so you'll be like, oh my God, why is this person talking to me? So then people then will be like, okay, TBN is like a Christian channel because it was talking to me.
Yeah.
And my husband is also another testimony. He'll laugh when he watches this. He, there was a time when he was wearing glasses.
Yeah.
He was wearing glasses because he couldn't, he was feeling like he has problems with his eyes. Then he started, the doctor gave him glasses. But he didn't like them. He didn't like wearing glasses. Then one day...
Didn't want to look like a nerd.
One day, he said he stood in front of the TV. And then there was, I can't remember which pastor was praying that year, that time. He knows because he won't forget it. So he said he stood in front and he prayed over his eyes. He said, please, I don't want this.
Wow.
He prayed and then a while later, he doesn't wear glasses. He never wore glasses for I mean, it's like maybe like more than 15 years now.
And his sight and vision
his sight, his vision, he said he prayed
Wow.
over it. My daughter can tell you.
Oh,
So
wow.
prayed over. So each time my daughter would complain about the eyes, my husband would be like, you know what happened to me. So I think that was his, it's his testimony that I can just talk about. And
Wow.
I'm talking about now the channel, because he was standing in front of the TV and the person that was preaching said, touch whatever it is that is
you have a
troubling
problem
you
with,
at
yeah.
this time. For him,
Wow.
it was his eyes.
It was his
So
eyes.
he just put them
And he
down.
was healed.
And he was completely healed. He was
Amen.
really completely healed.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing these testimonies. They mean a lot to us as TBN, as the entire team, even that is busy with this production. And I don't think people understand how these stories that may look to someone else as small, how big and what they mean to us. They encourage us to even go steps further to ensure that the gospel is spread throughout Africa, throughout people's lives.
Yes.
Not just for the sake of spirituality, for the sake of the whole well-being of, Let me not steal your interview now. Where and how do people get hold of you so that they can become part of the great movement that you are busy with?
Okay, so you asked me earlier about the book club membership. So we have our website is called penniesbookclub.com.
Yes.
And then when the person goes there, then there's a link that says join. And then when you join in, it takes you through the part, you know, so we can get your details and where you stay and those kind of things. Yeah, and then it's just as easy as that. And then you become a member of Penny's Book Club. You know, you read with us.
Wow.
And yeah, there's quite a lot in that website. We have even merchandise that we sell,
Yes.
but also it's relevant to reading.
Wow.
So
Wonderful.
yeah, it's journals and those kind of things that you can find, but it's all relevant to the reading community. And yeah.
Penny, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. This has been TBN Meets. Thank you very much for having joined us. Whatever it is that you have learned from this interview. No, this has not been an interview. It's just
conversation.
An intimate conversation with Penny. Please apply it in your life so that there is godly change. Until we meet next time, adios.
I'm like at home and I'm like feeling like I need to pray and those kind of things. Then I take the remotes. The first thing that I'll open TBN. That person that is preaching at the time, you'll be like, oh my God, why is this person talking to me?